Have you ever wondered if the secret to aging well isn't about doing more, but doing less? What if I told you that after 70, slowing down could be the key to living a healthier, happier, and more fulfilling life? In today's fast-paced world, we're constantly told to stay active, stay busy, and never stop moving. But groundbreaking research and real-life stories are revealing a surprising truth. Sometimes, less really is more. In this video, I'll share 3 simple yet transformative practices that have changed the lives of countless people over 70. Practices that could change yours too. From the art of mindful rest to finding joy in life's smallest moments and living with gratitude, these aren't just tips, they're life-changing truths that nobody's talking about. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1. The art of mindful rest. Let me share a story that completely changed the way I think about rest and energy. A few months ago, I found myself at a community center in Chicago, where I met David, a 75-year-old former marathon runner. He had the kind of presence that made you want to lean in and listen, and as we chatted, he said something that struck me. I spent my whole life believing that more movement meant better health. Now, I know better. David had always been the picture of an active senior. While many of his peers were slowing down, he took pride in being the most energetic person in his retirement community. His days were filled with morning jogs, afternoon tennis matches, and long evening walks. He was constantly in motion, believing that staying active was the key to a long and healthy life. Yet, despite all this activity, David felt constantly drained. His knees ached, his lower back throbbed, and to his shock, his blood pressure was climbing. He had done everything right, but his body was telling him otherwise. Then, something unexpected happened. A minor knee injury forced David to take a break. At first, he hated it. He felt restless, as if he was losing momentum. But over time, he discovered something he now calls his golden formula: the art of mindful rest. It's not about doing nothing, he explained to me with a knowing smile. It's about doing less but with more purpose. And here's the thing, he's right. Dr. Sarah Johnson, a leading expert in aging at the Mayo Clinic, has spent over 20 years studying the effects of rest on older adults. Her research confirms what David discovered through experience. Strategic rest isn't laziness. It's one of the most powerful tools for maintaining good health. It's about quality over quantity, Dr. Johnson explains. After 70, your body requires more recovery time. That's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. So what does mindful rest look like? David now begins each morning with what he calls his morning mindful moments. Instead of immediately launching into his daily routine, he sits quietly on his porch for 15 minutes, sipping his coffee, feeling the warmth of the sun, and simply observing the world wake up. I used to think this was wasting time, he chuckles. Now, I know it's what gives me energy for the whole day. Throughout his day, he incorporates what experts call strategic rest periods. These aren't just naps, though a short nap can be beneficial. Instead, they're intentional pauses between activities. Maybe it's sitting quietly for 10 minutes after returning from the grocery store or taking a few deep breaths before starting a new task. Think of it as hitting the reset button on your body and mind, permitting yourself to recharge. Here's where it gets really interesting. Since adopting this approach, David's sleep has improved dramatically. His blood pressure has returned to a healthy level, and, surprisingly, he has more energy than ever before. I still play tennis, he tells me with a grin, but now I play better because I'm well rested. Let's try something right now. Take a deep breath with me. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. Pay attention to the way your body feels against your chair or couch. Notice the sensation of stillness. This small pause, this simple act of being present, isn't wasted time. It's an investment in your well-being. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that rest is the opposite of productivity. But in reality, rest is what makes meaningful activity possible. Think about it. When you're well rested, everything feels easier. Your movements are smoother, your mind is sharper, and you enjoy what you're doing instead of just pushing through it. Dr. Johnson's research backs this up. Older adults who prioritize mindful rest report a 40% increase in daily energy levels. But it doesn't stop there. They also experience improved balance, better cognitive function, and even stronger social connections. Why? Because when you're not running on empty, you're more engaged in the things that truly matter. If you want to try this approach for yourself, start small. Tomorrow morning, before diving into your day, take just 5 minutes to sit quietly. No planning, no worrying, just be. See how it feels to start your day with intention rather than urgency. This is your first step into the art of mindful rest. David puts it best, "I'm not doing less with my life. I'm living more by doing less." And here's something even more surprising. Embracing this mindset doesn't just improve your energy. It helps you find joy in the smallest moments. When you learn to rest mindfully, you begin to appreciate the gentle rustling of leaves, the sound of birds singing in the morning, and the way a warm cup of tea feels in your hands. These small pleasures, which once seemed insignificant, become sources of real joy. So next time you feel guilty about taking a break, remember this: rest isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. By permitting yourself to slow down, you're not just preserving your health, you're enhancing your quality of life. And isn't that what truly matters? If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 2. Simple joys, deeper satisfaction. Have you ever noticed how slowing down changes the way you see the world? When we're constantly moving, chasing goals, and focusing on what's next, we tend to overlook the small, beautiful moments that make life truly meaningful. But when we take a step back and start paying attention, we discover that joy isn't always found in big, grand events. It's woven into the simple, everyday experiences we often take for granted. Let me share a story with you about Linda from Denver. Linda spent decades as a high-powered executive, always striving for the next promotion, the next milestone, the next achievement. That mindset didn't change when she retired at 73. She filled her calendar with plans, travel, social events, and projects, thinking that staying busy with big things would bring her happiness. "I thought I needed excitement to feel alive," she once told me with a chuckle. "I thought life had to be big to be meaningful." But then, something unexpected happened. One day, she decided to start a small garden on her patio. Nothing fancy, just a few pots of herbs and flowers. At first, she didn't think much of it. "I figured it was just a way to pass the time," she said. "I never imagined it would change my perspective on life." Yet, as the days passed, she found herself drawn to this little garden. Each morning, as she stepped outside to water her plants, she began noticing things she had never paid attention to before. The way the early sunlight made the dew sparkle on the leaves, the gradual shift in colors as her flowers bloomed, the way a gentle breeze made her plants sway. "It was like discovering a secret world that had been right in front of me all along," she said. What surprised Linda the most was how these tiny, quiet moments brought her a deeper sense of fulfillment than any of the major accomplishments she had chased throughout her life. "For the first time," she admitted, "I felt truly present. And in that presence, I found a kind of joy I had never known before." Linda's experience isn't unique. The Positive Aging Project conducted a study that found something fascinating. People over 70 who take the time to appreciate simple, everyday moments report 60% higher life satisfaction than those who are always seeking major achievements. Think about that for a moment. We often assume that happiness comes from big experiences, vacations, celebrations, or major life milestones. But in reality, it's the small, consistent moments that create a truly rich and fulfilling life. So how can we bring more of these moments into our own lives? Linda developed a practice she calls her happiness anchors. Simple daily habits that helped her slow down, become more present, and find joy in the little things. I want to share 3 of them with you because I've seen them transform lives time and time again. 1. The morning marvel. The first happiness anchor is what Linda calls the morning marvel. Each morning, take a moment to find one small thing that catches your attention. It could be the warmth of sunlight streaming through your window, the aroma of your morning coffee, or the cheerful chirping of birds outside. The key is to not just notice it but to fully experience it. Pause for a few seconds and let yourself appreciate it completely. These brief moments of mindfulness set a positive tone for the entire day. 2. Sensory moments throughout the day. The second anchor is something I like to call sensory moments. Throughout the day, pause now and then focus on one of your senses. Feel the softness of your sweater against your skin. Inhale the scent of fresh air after it rains. Listen to the soothing rhythm of your breathing. Taste your food slowly, savoring every bite. These aren't just small observations. They're doorways to a deeper appreciation of the present moment. 3. Connection spots. The third anchor is all about creating connection spots. These are regular moments in your day that bring a sense of connection, either with yourself or with others. Maybe it's enjoying a cup of tea while sitting in your favorite chair, calling a friend for a quick chat, or visiting a local coffee shop where people recognize you. These small, consistent interactions bring comfort and joy in ways we often underestimate. Why this matters? Now, you might be wondering, do these small habits make a difference? Science says yes. Dr. Robert Lewis at the Center for Aging Studies discovered that people who regularly practice mindfulness, meaning they notice and appreciate small pleasures, show better memory, improved mood, and even stronger immune systems. It's not just about feeling good. It's about actually living better. So let's do something together right now. Take a moment to look around you. What's one small thing you can appreciate at this very moment? Maybe it's the way light falls across your room, the laughter of a grandchild, or the comforting feel of your favorite blanket. Just notice it. Appreciate it. That's all. But trust me, that small act of awareness is incredibly powerful. Linda now says her happiest moments aren't the big milestones she used to chase. They're in the simple pleasure of watering her plants in the morning, in the fresh taste of herbs she grew herself, in the familiar wave of a neighbor as they walk by. I used to think joy was something I had to chase, she says. Now I know it's something I simply have to notice. And that's the beauty of this practice. It's accessible to everyone. You don't need a big budget, a special skill, or extra time in your day. All you need is the willingness to slow down, pay attention, and appreciate the simple joys already present in your life. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 3. Living with gratitude. Imagine a quaint coffee shop tucked away in a bustling corner of Boston. A small, welcoming haven where the aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingles with the soft murmur of conversation. It was in this cozy setting that I met Bob, an 84-year-old man whose gentle wisdom redefined my understanding of gratitude. Every morning, without fail at 7 a.m., Bob occupies his favorite table by the window, where the early light filters in just right to illuminate his routine. There, with a peaceful smile and a well-worn notebook in hand, he begins his day by savoring each sip of his coffee. One brisk morning, as the world outside was just beginning to stir, Bob leaned toward me and said, "Want to know what makes life truly rich?" With that invitation, he slid his notebook across the table. Instead of grand aspirations or elaborate bucket lists, the pages were filled with modest, heartfelt observations. "Today's coffee tastes especially good," Sarah called. Her voice always makes me smile. And "Watched the sunrise," reminded me how lucky I am to see another day. Each note captured the beauty of a moment often overlooked, emphasizing that true richness lies in the simple, everyday experiences. Bob's approach to life was not merely about feeling thankful. It was about transforming his entire experience of life. "When you're young," he explained with a knowing tone, "you're always racing towards the next big thing. But with time, I've discovered that the real treasure is found in appreciating what's already in front of you." His words resonated as a gentle reminder that while ambitions and dreams have their place, there is immeasurable value in recognizing the everyday miracles that surround us. Recent scientific studies support Bob's perspective, revealing that individuals who regularly practice gratitude tend to enjoy a more robust immune system, better cardiovascular health, and even improved sleep. However, the practice isn't about forcing yourself to feel grateful for every circumstance. It's about opening your eyes to the joy that naturally exists in your life. Bob's morning ritual is a study of simplicity and mindfulness. Before opening his notebook, he takes 3 slow, deliberate sips of his coffee. With each sip, he pauses to reflect on one small thing he is grateful for, whether it's the comforting warmth of the mug, the rich aroma that fills the air, or even the soft background hum of the coffee shop. With a gentle chuckle, he often remarks, "Sometimes, I'm just grateful for this coffee." This simple act is a powerful reminder that gratitude doesn't always stem from life-changing events. Often, it's found in the quiet, routine moments that make up our days. Inspired by Bob's approach, many have adopted what he calls the evening gratitude ritual. At the close of the day, before drifting off to sleep, take a few minutes to reflect on your day. Think of 3 small things that brought a smile to your face: a ray of sunlight streaming through your window, the comfortable feel of your favorite chair, or a kind word exchanged with a friend. This practice transforms the mundane into something meaningful and helps cultivate an ongoing awareness of life's daily blessings. Another beautiful aspect of Bob's philosophy is what he calls gratitude connections. Whenever he speaks with his children or grandchildren, he makes it a point to mention one specific quality he appreciates about them. Rather than simply saying, "I love you," he might express, "I love how you never forget to call on Sundays," or "Your laugh reminds me of the warmth of your mother's spirit." These thoughtful expressions serve not only to uplift his loved ones but also to deepen the bonds between them, reinforcing the power of acknowledgement and appreciation in our relationships. Let's take a moment to try an exercise together. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and think of one person who adds something positive to your day. It might be the friendly mailman who always greets you with a smile or the neighbor who waves hello as you pass by. Hold that person in your thoughts and feel a genuine sense of gratitude for their presence in your life. What makes gratitude so remarkably transformative is its capacity to grow. Bob often tells me that since he began his morning ritual, he has found an ever-expanding list of blessings. It's like training your eyes to spot hidden treasure, he says. Once you start looking, you begin to see beauty in every corner of life. His experience shows that gratitude is not a static practice but a dynamic way of living that deepens with time. The impact of Bob's practice is evident in the community around him. The regular patrons at the coffee shop have noticed his serene, joyful presence. Curious about his little notebook, many have begun to inquire about his practice, sparking a weekly gathering among a small group of like-minded individuals who call themselves the Grateful Hearts Club. Though Bob laughs at the name, its spirit is genuine, a collective celebration of everyday moments that brings people closer together. Of course, there are days when the search for gratitude feels challenging. Bob acknowledges that on some mornings, finding even one thing to be grateful for can seem difficult. That's completely normal, he says. Even on hard days, there's always something, a familiar routine, the unexpected kindness of a stranger, or simply the gift of waking up to another day. His honest reflection reminds us that gratitude isn't about perfection. It's about finding light even amid darkness. I also think of Margaret, who recently joined Bob's morning group. Once weighed down by the relentless pace of her daily life, she now finds joy in the simple act of noticing. With less emphasis on constant motion and more on savoring small moments, she confides, "I've never felt more alive." Her transformation is a testament to the profound impact that a mindful gratitude practice can have on one's overall well-being. Now, as we pause together, take a moment to reflect on your day. What is one small, genuine detail that you could write down in your personal gratitude notebook? It need not be a grand event, just a simple, authentic moment that makes you pause and smile. In these tiny acknowledgments, we find the seeds of lasting contentment and a richer, more fulfilling way to experience life. In essence, Bob's story is an invitation to embrace a life of mindful appreciation. His journey shows us that the true wealth of life lies not in grand achievements or monumental moments, but in the everyday acts of noticing and being grateful for the small, beautiful details that color our days. So, what have you learned so far? Whether it's the power of mindful rest, the joy of noticing life's simple pleasures, or the transformative practice of gratitude, each of these insights has the potential to enrich your life in profound ways. Now, I want to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned today that you're excited to bring into your own life? Share it with me in the comments below. If this video resonated with you, please leave your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more life-changing insights. Let's create a community of people committed to living their best lives, one mindful moment at a time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.